We can't hear you, Mama Ade.
That's my mic. Hold up, how to turn my.
Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is our next day, which we should say habari gani to everyone. And you said, that's right, Nia, the day of purpose. Some say it is one of the most important aspects of our Kwanzaa celebration. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? And so we're here with family. Kim, we just thought that, you know, we just came from a big, huge Kwanzaa celebration. There was probably about 75 to 100 people there. And for our Zoom, we just decided we just be us. We just be us. So this is my granddaughter. Introduce yourself.
I am Eshu Bayi, or Bayi for short.
And this is my grandson. And
Hi, I'm Ijarayi.
Ijarayi. What does your name mean? What does your name mean? Okay, we'll say it.
Royalty and love.
Okay. Eshu Bayi, what does your name mean?
Eshu Bayi means that Eshu, or the trickster or the guardian of the crossroads, saved me. So Eshu has saved me. And continues to save me on the daily. On the daily, yes indeed. And so I am Mama AdeOlomo. My birth name is Yavita Ely. And that means the archer of life. And my African name is AdeOlomo Dansi, which means means the crown or royalty. The prefix "ol" means is the owner of. Omo is children, and they keep coming in. I have 19 grandchildren and 26 great-grandchildren. So I fit my name. So the day of purpose and legacy, you can definitely see my legacy. one of the things about legacy is what you leave behind. And so that necessarily means what you leave to the youth. That's all of those that are coming up behind you. And so I think that one of the things about legacy for me is passing on the fact that we have done our work. We've paid attention to Sankofa, and so we've reached back to get the culture. So the culture is represented in my family. We all perform, we drum, we dance. All of you, as you see, my grandchildren all have African names. My great grandchildren have African names, so we reclaim that for ourselves. Several of my grandchildren and my children are priests in African traditional religion. And we don't say religion, but we say culture, because it's not something that we put on like a suit of clothes. This is who we are every day. And so the principle of Nia, the purpose. What is your purpose? What is it, your legacy? What is it that you're leaving? I think for me, it is teaching them their heritage, their culture, going back and getting their names, going back and getting their culture, and exhibiting that on a daily basis. So, Kim, I'll throw it back to you for a second.
No problem.
Okay.
So we understand the importance of the next generation. And so we need the eldership that is in position to build legacy. And we understand that that is not something that happens simply with aging. There is a difference between simply getting older, because that is mandatory. However, becoming an elder is a rite of passage, just like when adolescents go through a process in order to become an adult. There is a rite of passage for an adult to become an elder. And this is the process that Mama Ade, I want to say divination, she said it like it was natural, but I know that it was a download from her ancestors. She came to me, we were on a plane coming from Ethiopia, and she said, Kim, we need something for the elders. We need a process for the elders. And I said, what is it, Mama Ade? She said, I don't know, but I'll figure out. And 12 months later, we had our first group of elders that were in every stretch of the imagination, the matriarch of their families, the leader of their families, that said, I want to learn what legacy building looks like. I understand that I have aged and I am wise. I have survived. I've overcome barriers in my life. And so I've learned how to navigate life, the ebb and flow of living. But there's more to be learned. And how inspiring that is for the next generation, for them to tell us that even in their old age, even though they have, gained so much experience through living, that it wasn't over, that learning is a lifelong process. And so to see elders, and I'm speaking now for myself, to see elders sit at the feet of Mama AdeOlomo and to say, I want to continue to develop. I want to take ownership of this process, this last phase of my journey. I want to learn how to transition into the realm of the ancestors. That to me is a process. Mama Ade, can you tell us more about what that process looks like?
Okay, absolutely. So now, understand that this is my family, for real, for real.
Yes,
that's my granddaughter.
Your volume just went down a little bit. Hey, family,
Okay.
she's the cook, for real, for real.
Yes, she is. So we're gonna transition in here because I want you to see my mommy.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll take you in here.
Mama Ade, we can't hear you as good as we could before.
Okay, I haven't said anything. I wanted you to see my mom. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So
And she is beautiful.
thank you. That's my husband's mother right there. So what we do is we're going to fix her a plate and ask that the ancestors join us as we continue on. Can you come hold this for me?
Mama Ade, how did you identify that space in your house to put your mother and your husband's mother?
We cleanse the area. We have incense going all through the house. So we cleanse the area. I am actually over my daughter's house. And so at my house, she sits in the throne chair. And so when I get up in the morning, quite naturally, I go by and I say good morning to my mother every morning that I get up. The Bible says, honor thy father and thy mother, that your days may be long on the face of the earth, which the Lord thy God has given thee. And so that doesn't just mean when they're staring you in your face. That means period. And so I try to tell my students and my godchildren and my grandchildren and all of them that when I step out my door every day, I represent that lady right there. I represent Gladys. I represent Emmanuel. And so I have to conduct myself in a very particular way. That's what they have passed down to me. So those ancestors, and I'm the oldest in my family. Behind me is my brother, Lee. And y'all forgive me, but my brother is in the hospital. So y'all send up good prayers and good thoughts for him. He had a stroke this morning. But God is good because I went immediately to my mother and I said, Ma, please protect Lee. He's the only brother I have. And right now, my husband just came from the hospital. They said they're going to let my brother out of the hospital day after tomorrow. He's talking, he's eating, he's doing wonderful. So I'm rejoicing. I'm rejoicing. I'm rejoicing. So, folks, can I have everybody in here, please? Oh, thank you. You see all that good stuff right there? You see that right there? Good eating. That's my come on in here. Let them see you. That's my baby right there. She,
Yes.
Legacy. I taught her how to cook. Look at my baby. And so we made this wonderful plate. We're going to put this here for my mother and my mother-in-law and invite them to eat with us. We're going to pray. Come on, everybody. Okay. Come on. So, for libation, only tutu, either tutu, ona tutu, tutu lo roya rula she, mojuba lo dumad, mojuba lo room. We're praying. Mojuba room, mojuba shupa, mojuba northeast, south, and west. Mojuba rumale, mojuba ai, mojuba ina, mojuba fefe, mojuba bogbo around, no ibaye baye tuno. Ibaye ia losha, baba losha, kini toko medinai. Ibaye baba, ibaye yeye, ibaye olu wosi woyu, ibaye yuba anka, ibaye akoda, ibaye asheda, ibaye iliobokuye yi, ibaye bogbo ego, ilerimi, olu ia losha, baba losha. And so what I said was, we give honor to God. We give honor to God. There's only one God.
I said,
Ashe, Ashe. We
This is
said,
Prince Ayotunde Adebayo.
hey,
I'm
what
so
a blessing.
excited about what you're doing. So keep going. Just to
Thank
let you
you.
know that somebody who understands what you're saying, that's the reason why I
Thank you.
voiced out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it said we give honor to all of those who sit at the feet of heaven. We give honor to all of the Babas, all of the fathers. We give honor
Iba
to all of
Koda,
the
Iba Koda, Iba Sheda. Akoda means the false creation.
Hey,
And then
yes,
Asheda,
Sheda.
Asheda is the one that created our world, our
Yes.
being, who created our being, Asheda. So you're doing good.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We give honor to all of the teachers, all of those who have gone on before us. Bogbo Egun, to all of the ancestors. We give honor and praise, and we remember and we call their names. And so we call my mother, Gladys Lorraine Parnell Ely. We call my husband's mother, call her name.
Helen Ricketts Snipes.
Yes. And so we call all of those ancestors who have gone on before. And so we encourage you to continue that tradition in your homes. I don't ever want to forget Hattie Bell Parnell, my grandmother. They said she could drink any man under the table. And she was a community person, and she fed everybody in the community. And she passed that cooking down to my mother. My mother passed that cooking down to me. And you see, we pass it on down to my granddaughters and my grandchildren. And my husband cooks fabulous too. I think that's how I snagged him by cooking a wonderful, wonderful meal.
Shrimp.
Yes, it was.
All our parents, they taught us how to cook very well. All the men, both men and women in Yoruba land in Nigeria, they know how to cook. So I really appreciate all what you're saying.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So do you know how to cook pounded yam and egusi soup and vegetables and stuff?
Yes.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome,
Yes,
awesome.
and jollof rice.
Awesome.
My granddaughter has made jollof rice, and yes, we continue those traditions and we pass those things on. That is our purpose, to pass that on. Yes. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. More people are coming in, more family are coming in. So we have family. I invited a couple friends over. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. The family is the microcosm of the larger community. And so we deal with family and the traditions and moving things forward. So I don't want to get long-winded. I just do want to make sure that we acknowledge our ancestors. We set the plate for our family, and we're going to come back in here. We're transiting back into the kitchen area. Greetings. Lafia. Come on in, come on in. Olushola, I wanted to introduce you to my grandson, and we're a family of priests. I'm a priestess of Oshun. My one granddaughter, she is a priestess of Eshu. This is Olushola.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Báwo ni o, Olúṣọlá?
Àlàáfíà.
Ṣé àlàáfíà ni?
We're doing
Awesome.
wonderful. Thank you for asking. And Olushola is a priest of Agayu, which is
deity of the volcano.
the deity of the volcano. And so his mother is Oshun, the sweetness, the river. My granddaughter here, what is your name? Mouthful of food. This is family, so we're not going to pretend and put on airs. Yes, yes,
I can't, yes.
yes.
Talk to them. I'm hungry, y'all, and I gotta go to work, so I'm sorry.
So just introduce yourself.
I'm Kufoyi and
Kukai
Orisha Lako.
Orisha Lako, and you are a priestess of
Obatala.
Obatala.
Obata.
So Baba, explain who Obatala is.
Obatala is actually the first of the 400 Irumole.
Hey.
So
Yes.
I conducted an interview with Obatala last year, and I'm talking about the person who is on the stool of Obatala today. I'm very close to him, so I can, get you guys introduced to him.
Oh,
One of
wonderful.
these days, yes. But I would
Yes.
like to meet with your husband.
Yes, and
I would
there's
like
my
to meet with
husband.
him. Kim, if Kim
Yeah.
allows me to release my number, I will give you my number. Or
Mhm.
I will ask Kim to give you my number for your husband,
Okay.
and we can talk.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. And you see, can you see? The kings of Benin. The flag of the kings of Benin. And so we're steeped in tradition here at our house. We're steeped in tradition. We're steeped in legacy building. And so we're going to go to the table, and we're going to talk about the principles of Kwanzaa very quickly. And we're going to light the candles. Is that okay?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Okay. Where's the lighter? Okay. So tell everybody to come downstairs.
I go.
Everybody go downstairs. Children. Everybody come downstairs.
So this is our Kwanzaa table. We have our fruits. We have our corn to represent the children. We have the muzao, the first fruits. We have the kanara. We have the oh, thank you. We have the kikambacha umoja, the unity cup. And so, Bayi, can you light the candles for me?
Light one, and then use that one to light the other. Here. Where's she going?
She's coming. Okay. So we're lighting the first candle. Somebody tell me what the first candle represents, the fifth one. Means unity, means unity. Umoja, umoja, means unity, means unity. I work with you, I work with you, you work with me, you work with me. We work together. Respectfully, respectfully. Umoja, umoja, means unity, means unity. All right, family. Yay. All righty. So that's the first candle. Then the next one, the next principle is. Hello, somebody? Somebody, what's the next principle? You better say that, baby. Determination. Shangilia means self-determination. You can't tell me, that's right. You can't define me. I define myself. You can't tell me who to be, not you and nobody else. Because Shangilia means self-determination. Shangilia means self-determinant. Okay, see, we're a little crazy around here. We're a little crazy around here. But we're passing it on. The red. Mhm. Good, 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 good. And so that's the second principle is Shangilia. The next principle is what? Somebody? Ujima, which means what?
Oh, y'all.
Collective?
Collective work and responsibility. Hey.
Okay, very good. So I didn't make up a song for that one yet. So we don't have a song for that one yet. That's right. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was. Oh yeah, no, it goes.
All right. And so what's the next principle? Ujama. And what is that?
Work in economics.
Cooperative economics. That's correct. All right.
What's next?
And the next one is Habari Gani, y'all. What's the next one? Nia. That's today. And Nia means what?
Purpose.
Purpose. Very good, my baby.
And what's after that though? What's after that? Kuumba.
That is correct.
Hey, what's that? What do you mean though?
What do you mean? Creativity.
All right.
And then the last one is Imani, which is faith. That is correct. So we just lit the last two for effect so that you all can see it. I hope y'all can see it. Those other two principles get lit. So Kuumba gets lit tomorrow, and then Imani gets lit the day after. So we just wanted to share our Kwanzaa table with everyone. And as you see, the books that we have for our children. So I hope that just shares with you all what we do here at our house. And Kwanzaa was originally for family to come together, celebrate, to have karamu, big feast, big food, fun, passing on the knowledge. So we're going to give books and toys to the children. And so that's what it's all about. So if you all don't mind, and I know we need to go back and talk more about Elder's legacy and the trip. And I'm going to have my husband to speak just a little bit on the book that he has been writing, called My Life's Handbook. But in the meantime, let's drum just a little bit more. Do y'all mind listening to a little bit more drumming?
We would like to hear it nice and close.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to drum. Did you get a drum? Okay. We got a
recording of it. I might put some spoken word to it.
Yes. So here, put this way over there. Over there. Get a chair for Chuck.
Where is it? Here?
Uh-huh.
The camera's got to turn around.
Here, give it here. Here.
No, it's upside down.
Hold on, just 1 second. All right. There we go. Right there. Sit it over there, Kim. It's Kim.
I got you. Good to see almost everybody. Let's go.
Can you see everybody? All right, come on. No, we did funga already, so let's
Freestyle.
do cuckoo.
Okay.
Go that way.
I'm gonna put y'all over here.
Come on, Baye.
I think everybody can see. So
Baye, you're on the do.
Okay.
You ready?
of course.
All right, so.
Wow, the drumming is not coming out again. Good. You play God. Oh, so heavy the phone right there. So, just a little something, something. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Hey. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Oh my goodness. Okay. I go. All right. Hold on. It's a message in the chat room. Okay. When you drum and the phone is away, we can't hear. Oh.
We can do it again.
Yes, now.
We can do it again for you.
Okay.
Enjoy, sis.
So, I hope you were able to hear at least some of that. But we want to talk more about Elder's legacy, the trip, and what we did last year. So, is there anyone on the call who went with us last year? I mean, this past year. Kim, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you talk just a little bit about the trip?
Yes, ma'am, I can. The Elders Legacy Tour was our opportunity to go to 3 countries in one. We went to the Indian Ocean. We went into the Kilimanjaro Mountains. We went into the village in Bagamoyo. We went to the big city. I feel that our time in Tanzania reminded us of the journey that you take before being an elder. The mountaintop, it was all symbolic. And I think being in the midst, in the company of mothers that brought their mothers, that to me was special. When you live long enough to be an elder and then you also still take care of your elder mother, that to me is a blessing. I loved how Mama Betty at 86, still there with us, when the young boy, and I mean very much a young man with children of his own, picked up Mama Betty and put her on his back. We were walking up Kilimanjaro, and our curators know, we do what we can to help our guests have the best time that's possible, the safest time that's possible. But we don't pay them enough to put an adult on their back. But without question, without a second thought, before we could give him instruction or best practices or a suggestion on how to help us to help her, Mama Betty, who walks with her walker, was headed to the coffee workshop in the Metaruni village, the last stop before you summit Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa. And the fact that she was brave enough to even be there, she didn't have it worked out. She knew she used a walker, and yet she just wanted to be there with her 60-something-year-old daughter by her side. And she pushed her walker slow and steady, and she paused just long enough for it to cross her face that, what am I about to do next? And here comes this young 30-something, strong and stout. And just like a mother in Africa carries a baby on her back, this young man put Mama Betty on his back and continued to walk up that mountain to the coffee workshop. It just reminded me of the standard, the little things that you don't plan on. As a curator, we think of what is necessary. We try to plan everything. We imagine situations that are possible, and then those things that really make the difference are usually the things that you didn't plan at all. It just reminds you of the presence of God. It reminds you that you're not in control, and that all you have to do is just be in alignment with the vision. All you have to do is be obedient. And the things that you don't know, they will manifest themselves in your purpose. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the richest. I'm not the cutest. I clean up nice, but there's somebody cuter than me, even when I clean up nice. I'm not always where I need to be when I'm in control of my schedule. But for some reason, all of the moments that really take us to the next level, that really, change the game, that really set our company aside, are those things that have nothing to do with me, nothing to do with my planning, nothing to do with our fundraising, nothing to do with the curators. God is our curator. And I feel that the Elders Legacy Tour is a blessing because we listened, because we were obedient, because we didn't know who would be interested. And yet we went forward anyway. And so I know that may not really be the logistics of the tour. We're not talking about flights and meals and hotel accommodations, but today is Nia. And so we have to talk about purpose. The Elders Legacy Tour is bigger than just tourism. It is in alignment with Mama AdeOlomo Dansi's purpose. And the fact that you have allowed the Teaching Artists Institute to help manifest that purpose, it is a blessing. We will be blessed because you have allowed us the opportunity to help realize this vision that is in alignment with your purpose. I think it's a lesson to know what your purpose is. Many people live their entire lives. They're just aging 1 year after the other, lost, have no idea what their purpose is. And we need elders amongst us that are going to develop the template. People are looking for themselves. They're trying to find themselves. And now you're looking to your left and your right, and you realize I'm not a high school, college student. I'm not a young adult. I'm in my 50s and my 60s and my 70s, and I'm going through this life, and I'm still wondering, what is my purpose? But you don't have to leave into the ancestral plane without having an answer to that question. But there is a process. Just like children become preteens, and just like they become young adults through a rite of passage, there is a process for becoming an elder. And you don't learn that process in your eldership. You learn it before. And so we also need to include the younger generation in this conversation. This should be a family conversation, just like Kwanzaa is a family tradition. Kwanzaa was a tradition that was created 1966 by Mulana Kuranga and the US organization. But Mulana, he was in the Eastern Shore. So he was looking for himself. He went from the Eastern Shore of Maryland to California, trying to figure out on his journey, what is my purpose? Is my purpose here in Maryland? Is it in California? And he created this tradition along with his organization, inspired by harvest and first fruit festivals that are on the continent. And so the question becomes, what new traditions are we going to create? It's not about celebrating Kwanzaa, acknowledging Nia, and that being it. No, we are here to continue to innovate, to continue to create new traditions as we hold up the principles like the Kanara candle, like the Kanara holds up the candles. We need to decide what other institutions are we going to create that are going to reinstill, reinforce the principles of Kwanzaa. Mama Ade's Elders Legacy Tour and the curriculum that comes out of that is such an institution, just like Kwanzaa, just like rite of passage, the Uhuru method, just like, when we look at the Homowo Festival, we're looking at these institutions that remind us of our purpose, remind us of our mission while we're here on this plane. And Mama Ade downloading the Elder Legacy Tour is an opportunity for us to be involved, because we're looking for other elders that are going to help us to shape this rite of passage for elders, and not assume that it happens when you just get older, but acknowledging that there is a process I need to go through to leave legacy to my family. If I die today or tomorrow, how will I live on? In the African worldview, you don't die until you are forgotten. How can we ensure now, today, while you're with us in this plane, that your value system lives on through institutions that you build? The Elders Legacy Tour is an opportunity to have that discussion with people that understand the necessity of it. Mama Ade, I'll pass it back to you. I can't wait to hear what Baba Ken has to say about how he has captured his purpose in his book. Because when you say that you are Mama AdeOlomo, the mother of many children, the father that stands next to you is the father of many children.
That's
and what
right.
an honor to be able to hear from him tonight.
Okay. Let me call upon him. Hold on just a second. Is Poppy in there? Okay. Ken? Okay. I'm gonna let you sit here.
No.
So,
Good evening, and welcome to our family, Kwanzaa. When this was created some almost 70 years ago, the intention was that it be a cultural event for African Americans, not just for these days between Christmas and New Year's, but it was intended to be something that would become a part of the family's regular rituals and activities throughout the year. I know we're focused on purpose today, Nia, and there's a part in the material, the drafts that I have, that deals with purpose. And I thought I'd take a few minutes just to take a look at that in some detail, but not to bore you, but I've been examining this for a number of years. I think it's 10 or 15 years actually. But when you talk about purpose, you're really talking about a vision for your personal self, a vision for your family, a vision for your community. But in this issue, it's intended to be a vision for yourself. And that is to say that, who am I on this planet? What is my reason, my purpose for being here? And the thing is, that's made up of the choices that you make. It's made up of the thoughts that you have. You know, if you can conceive it, you can achieve it, and so on and so forth. The idea, you have to plant yourself on the earth with a purpose that you define for yourself. This is the idea of creating your own identity by making that choice. And then from that, you draw an actual mission. The mission is really related to the movements that you make through your life. My mission is my choice to do what I will do on this planet. You determine that, and it's like a roadmap. It's like a roadmap for the way you want to conduct your life. And you set goals on the way, and the goals are really general achievements that you have as you move through life. And then you have objectives. And this is where most people tune in. Most people understand what objectives are. Objectives are those things that get to be the practical issue of what you can measure and what you can achieve within reasonable considerations of your own capabilities and understandings and knowledge and skills. And then you move on to things that we would call tasks. These are things that are challenges undertaken to reach your goals, objectives, and your purpose. And then finally, we have actions. Actions are the doing of those tasks, so that not only do you have this larger idea of purpose and mission, but then you get all the way down to, okay, what am I going to do to achieve that? Now, it was interesting. I was reading a post by my great grandniece just a couple of days ago, and someone asked her, how do you create a plan for your life? And she wrote a little something which I thought was wonderful. What she does is she puts a piece of paper next to her bedside with the things that she wants to achieve the next day. Then she goes back and she reviews what she did and makes a new one for the next day. Now, everybody likes to work with a checklist. And basically, it's a checklist, but the idea is that it's your checklist and there's no boss but you. So if you find that circumstances suggest that you change things as you go along, then you make those changes. You answer to yourself, but you share this with those that you communicate with, those that you love, your family members. In other words, you don't keep it private. You let them understand that you have these things going. It's almost like I don't want to say like a missionary, but it's almost like something that you desire to change, but understanding, or you desire to achieve, but you understand you can change it. There's no one telling you what you can be, what you should do, so on and so forth. And so that once these ideas are developed, there is a collective of lifelines, which I call them. And there are about 12 of them. And I'll end with this. Now, the idea is that these are the things that you do to create your complete plan. Now, this is not to say that it's not in any particular order, but there are 12 lifelines that I've laid out that capture the things that in many cases are automatic or subliminal, once you put them in place. It's like breathing and walking and things that you don't think about any longer. But there are very specific things that happen when you attempt to walk. You could describe them in a long-winded way, but you do it automatically. These things are like that. You intend to incorporate this into your whole self. You have a spiritual lifeline, educational lifelines, you have technical lifelines. And what I mean by that is that in today's society, everybody must consider, what's the matter?
Nothing, she's eating the grapes. Go
Oh,
ahead.
everybody must consider technology in this world we live in today. You have family issues, you have social issues, and everyone is finding out now that for a long life, you must have a social network. You must interact with people throughout your life. You can't isolate yourself. You have professional and work issues. You have financial issues. You have health issues. So very important that when you consider that, it's the nutrition. You are what you eat, so to speak. You have to be mindful of your health and nutrition being almost one and the same. You have community issues. There are those things that you must consider in giving back to your family, your community, your neighborhood, your society. You have leisure because that is a part of being a balanced and healthy person. I'm a Libra. I think of balance in most everything I do. And retirement is something that you start thinking about early, not just in terms of its financial ramifications, but what will your life be as you retire? My son happens to be an artist. He's internationally recognized in his art. And I was speaking with him the other day, and I was talking to him about retirement. The retirement meaning, well, you ought to consider your Social Security, you ought to consider your teacher's pension fund. And he looked at me because I said, when you're 65, you're going to have to think about these things. He looked at me and he said, when I'm 65, I'm going to be making $100,000 a year. So I said, more power to you, son. Then I asked my daughter to check on his teacher fund because he has an account somewhere. And then the last issue that will work with you throughout your life is the end of life issues. You have to plan for that as you have to plan for everything else that goes on in your life. So these 12 lifelines are those things that go into your handbook for living. Your family, your community, all consider these issues. But in this case, we're talking about each individual having a roadmap for life that incorporates these kinds of thinking, steps, issues, ideas. And as you do that on a regular basis, they come to you almost as automatically as walking, breathing, and other things that the body does. It does more than 12 things, just when you consider what the body is doing just for you to take one steps, how the brain, the nervous system, the blood, the chemical transactions in your system, the muscles, the bones, all these things are working together in a way that you don't even think about, you don't realize. But these are practical areas that you can use to map out a plan for your life, recognizing that you can change them as circumstances change. So with that, I say again that purpose or niya is something that you can consider starting with your actual vision of how you sit on this planet and what actions you will take to become a completely fulfilled person, to be a happy person. In our Bill of Rights, we say the pursuit of happiness is as important as anything else we do in life. And that should really be on the front burner and not somewhere in the background where most people think the financial gain is the most important thing in life. The pursuit of happiness within yourself, the peace within yourself, and the peace within your family is truly what will create a balanced life using a roadmap that you create yourself through a device. And in this case, it's My Life's Handbook. And thank you very much. I spent the day with my brother-in-law who's in the ICU today with his stroke. It was so fortunate that he had the stroke in the emergency room, so that in terms of getting the needed medication, it was right there for him. And because of that, he couldn't talk this morning. And when I left the hospital, he was talking, eating, and thinking about making some phone calls to tell people he wouldn't be available for the next couple of days. So we're blessed that he was where he was in the hospital. we're blessed that he's a bright, intelligent, wonderful, well-balanced person whose health has just taken the forefront in all the issues that I've talked about. So thank you very much. I appreciate having this moment to share this with you.
You did good.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Okay. So, just spending time with my family,
Sorry, man.
talking about legacy and why we created the Elders Legacy Tour. I know, for Mom Betty, it was a dream come true for her to be able to go to Africa. Not everybody has that opportunity and that chance, and she took the chance. And, the way they treat elders on the continent is not how we're used to here. They don't throw the elders away. I was talking with an African gentleman, and he said, you continue to do what you do. He said, make sure you write it, because we want people to know that we treat our elders like a bank, is what he said. We treat them like a bank because we know we can always go to them to withdraw wisdom and knowledge. And so we treasure our elders. And I told the story of when I was in South Africa and my room was all the way downstairs. And I had to come up the stairs and go across the lobby to go to the dining area. And when I was coming back, I took a deep breath and I was going to go back down the stairs. And this young gentleman, he said, Mama, we're going to move your room. I said, oh no, that's okay, because I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to, cause any problems. No, Mama, we're gonna move your room to a different place. I said, no, I can handle it. I can go up and down the stairs. It's not a problem. He said, no. He said, Mama, in our culture, the elders are not supposed to struggle. And I said, Ashe. And I accepted the change of room, and I was grateful for that mindset of how you treat eldership. I'm still viable. I think I'm still cute. And so one of our elders is 96 years young, Mom Daphne. And I asked her why she keeps coming to our gatherings and all of that. And she said, I just want to learn. I just want to learn. And that just turned my whole mindset around for this 96-year-old woman who has seen so much and who could write her own books to say, I still just want to learn. I just thought that was absolutely amazing, and just felt blessed that she was put into my life to give me the roadmap, because here I'm 70. And I said that on camera. But, having this 96-year-old in front of me to give me the light and say, keep on coming down this road. And she was gracious and lovely, and had just gotten back from her hometown of Cuba, and she is ready to go to Africa. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to Kim, because we're getting ready to have our karamu, our feast. We get ready to eat up in here. Oh, sure. Well, let's see. It's getting, although we did start late, I don't want to keep people on the line too long. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Kim.
Well, we were hoping to hear that spoken word. Sounds like one of the grands had a few words. And so before we get down to business, I would love to hear him spit a bar or two. Is that on the agenda?
Well, it's been a minute since I spoke any kind of word as far as poetry is concerned. So who does the spoken word is one of my sisters, but I am
okay, go ahead.
But I'm an herbalist, and first of all, I do a lot of different things. But one of the biggest things that I do is herbalism. And I am also reintegrating a forgotten language back into my family called Tutanese. And Tutanese is a language that's been created by slaves a long time ago. It's a Black American language. Oh, I can't hear you.
No, we
Don't
didn't
call
say
them,
nothing. We were waiting for you to
Okay.
say a few words of Tutanese.
no, don't call them slaves. Call them the enslaved.
The enslaved.
Yes, sir.
They were not,
Yes, sir.
they were not slaves.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the correction. So it was created by the enslaved. Thank you. And the language is a very close to the vest, very gate-kept language. So much so that had I not come across it myself, it would have stayed out of my family for much longer than it has already. I ended up coming across it on TikTok. Somebody just bringing it up in conversation and saying, hey, came across this language. It's really dope. Follow me on Facebook and so on and so forth. So I jumped down a rabbit hole and come to find out, it was already in my family before.
That's right.
After I talked to my grandmother, I'm like, hey, have you ever heard of Tut before? Tutanese? Grandma was like, oh,
Yeah,
my mother spoke that language.
that's right.
And so, and so, you know, it's a generational, it's passed down generationally through epigenetics, through genetics. You know, your habits, your things that you love, the things that you dislike, the things that you learn, your highest interests, all gets written down in your DNA and passed through genetics. And so, unfortunately, it skipped my grandma because she never got a chance to learn, and she ended up learning Pig Latin instead. And then my mother and my aunt ended up learning Pig Latin, and I ended up coming across Tut. So, with Tut, you know, it's a very coded language.
Mm-hmm.
And without me speaking it specifically, it's very encrypted, I should say. It's very encrypted.
So they just want to hear a few words on Tut.
So I would say something like, if I was to ask somebody if they spoke Tut, right? Or was wondering if somebody spoke Tut without directly asking them, I would say, Dodo yako uses papi Tut. Do you speak Tut?
Say that one more time.
Dodo yako uses papi Tut.
But what
And
language is that?
that's Tutanese.
That's Tutanese. And so what he's saying is, you know, my mother used to speak Tut. And I never did learn that. I learned Pig Latin, but it was a coded language so that the enslaved could speak amongst themselves without their captors knowing what they were saying. And so my mother spoke that language. And another thing is like from the Gullah Geechee people, my mother used to always say, we're Geechee. And she would say things like, I'm gonna left you now, but I'll be seeing you some again. So that Gullah Geechee, all of those cultural retentions is very important. I see your hand, Baba. Yes.
Yes. That was your husband, right? That spoke earlier in white clothes.
Yes, sir.
His name is Ade something.
No. AdeOlomo is my name.
Okay. What about his name? He's from Nigeria, right?
Yes.
He knew God.
Baba Makanjuola.
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 Okay. What part of your? Can I speak with him? Do you mind?
He went back in the.
Okay.
Oh, he's eating dinner.
When he finished, please, I would like to have a word with him. You
Yes.
see, the language that your son was describing or something like that, not the same as what my mother, you know, there is a language they call Eno. So that's Eno, E-N-A. So that's the reason why I was trying to talk to your husband if he's familiar with that. I believe is
Okay.
familiar. So Eno is like a coded language too that our parents used to speak when they want people that are around, they don't want them to know what they're saying. They use language. In our own terms, it's called Eno.
Eno. Okay.
Eno. E-N-A.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. It is going on 9 p.m. Our Zoom was supposed to start at 7, but I think we started closer to 7:30. So we are still an hour and a half in. And I know that some of the family members are getting hungry. Are there any questions that you all have? I see Sister Aki, who has already paid her money. She is definitely going on the trip in October. The trip is that last week of October. So we will be going back to Tanzania and having a magnificent time. We scheduled massages for the elders. It was so wonderful. They had clothes made. We went to the hot springs. So many wonderful experiences to learn and to partake in as we go back this year, this coming year, for our Elders Legacy Tour. Are there any questions for any of us at this time?
Well, I also organize tour. Kim is aware of it. My tour is called Pan-African Back to the Roots. The Pan-African Back to the Roots initiative was designed 2015. Mike, the Oni of Ife, your husband will know of him.
Yes.
Yeah, so I organized the program that brought him to the US. Immediately he got on the throne in 2016. And thereafter that, I've been sending African Americans to Nigeria. So next year, September to October, September 19 to October 18, 2024, we have our own tour, but it's Pan-African Back to the Roots tour and investment.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. That is awesome.
We're going to 3 countries, Nigeria, Republic of Benin, and Ghana.
Wonderful. My other daughter is over there right now. But anyway, I don't want to get too far away from the Elders Legacy Tour. Any questions for anyone before we finish the Zoom and go and have our karamu, our feast, and eat a wonderful dinner? Any questions?
I don't have a question per se, but I just wanted to say this was very nice to, just to be with you all and see how your family do it, and sharing it with the whole group and, just having the different people together. It was amazing. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else before we close? Well, we will close with peace, love, respect for everybody. One more time. Peace, love, respect for everybody.
Respect.
Ashe. God bless you all. God bless you all. Take care.
God bless you all too. Thank you. God bless
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Safe. Okay. How you do? How do you sound?